They say you can tell a lot about a man by how he takes his coffee. Black, no cream, no sugar, that's how Raymond Ellis drinks his. Same way he has for the past 15 years. Same seat, same table, same diner. It's 8:07 a.m. on a damp Tuesday in Maughan, Georgia. The kind of morning where the sky feels like wet concrete, and even the birds sound like they've had better days. The local diner on Vineville Avenue is already buzzing with quiet life. Truckers, nurses, old couples who've been married too long to talk much anymore. And then there's Raymond. He sits alone in the back corner, by the window with the chipped frame. His coat is military-ish, weathered and a little too big now, like it remembers a younger version of him. His boots are scuffed. His beard, peppered with gray, is trimmed just enough to suggest dignity, not vanity. To most strangers, he looks like a man the world forgot, but to Carla, the waitress with the quick wit and calloused hands, he's just Ray. "Mornin', Mr. Ellis," she chirps, pouring his usual. He nods once. "Morning, Carla. Got any of that peach cobbler today?" "You know better. Cobbler don't hit the griddle till noon." It's routine, comforting. The kind of quiet exchange that means everything when your life doesn't have many constants. Raymond doesn't talk much. He doesn't smile often. But he's never unkind. He tips well, pays in cash, and never asks for more than what's fair. Some say he lives out of a shelter down by the old train yard. Others say he sleeps in his truck, though no one's seen him drive anything in years. The truth is, most folks don't ask. They just assume. What they don't see is the VA card tucked inside his wallet, the bronze star in his footlocker, the names he whispers in his sleep that no one hears. Today seems like any other, until it's not. Outside, a black and white cruiser rolls to a slow stop just past the pawn shop. No sirens, no lights, just two officers stepping out like they own the sidewalk. Officer Dennis Cray, built like an ex-linebacker with a temper to match, leads the way. Behind him is Officer Tom Renshaw, shorter, rounder, face like a thumbprint, clipboard always under one arm. They walk with that particular kind of confidence, the kind that doesn't ask for permission. Inside, Carla stiffens the second she sees them. "Morning, officers," she offers, tight smile in place. "You want your usual table?" But Cray doesn't answer. His eyes are already on Raymond. He heads straight to the booth. "Sir," Cray says, loud enough for half the diner to hear. "Are you a customer here?" Raymond looks up, slow, steady. "Yes." "You buy anything?" "Breakfast's on the way. Coffee's right here. You got a receipt?" Carla steps forward. "He's fine, officer. He comes in every week, pays every time." Cray doesn't even look at her. "Ma'am, this is a police matter." Carla's mouth tightens. "With all due respect." Harold, the diner's owner, cuts in from the back. "Let it go, Carla." Raymond doesn't move. Doesn't raise his voice. He just takes a sip of coffee, then places the mug down gently. "I paid. She took the order. You can ask her." Renshaw frowns. "You carry an ID?" Raymond reaches slowly into his coat. The wallet creaks as he opens it, the edges cracked and worn. He hands over a VA card. Cray snorts. "This all you got?" Raymond doesn't flinch. "It's all I need." And that's when something shifts. Not loud, not sudden, just thickening air, like the moment before a storm when everything goes still. Renshaw steps in closer. "How long you been here?" Raymond glances at the old clock above the counter. "Half an hour?" "And how long you planning to stay?" Raymond's eyes narrow slightly. "Long enough to finish my breakfast like everyone else." Carla places his plate in front of him, hands shaking just a little. Cray frowns. "He already ordered?" "He's a regular. Comes in every Tuesday. You homeless?" Renshaw asks, like it's a crime. Raymond nods slowly. "I don't have a house, but I got a home in this town." Cray smirks. "Got a lot of smart answers, huh?" Raymond picks up his fork. "Just telling you the truth? But the tension? It's simmering now, palpable. Like heat rising off blacktop." The couple in the next booth stop eating. The delivery guy near the door checks the time again. No one wants to get involved, but no one's leaving either. Because something about this doesn't feel right. And they all know it. Ray folds his arms. "This is the problem," he says, loud enough for the entire diner to hear. "People think they can just take up space wherever they want, loiter, freeload. Meanwhile, decent folks are working double shifts to make ends meet." Raymond chews quietly. Fork, grits, swallow, wipe, calm. "Sir," Cray continues, "you're taking advantage of a place that's too polite to throw you out." Nobody speaks, because deep down they know exactly what's happening. It's not about loitering, not about breakfast. It's about power. Carla stares at the officers, knuckles white around her order pad. He paid. I rang him up. Check the register if you don't believe me. Renshaw takes a step back toward the counter, but Cray stays planted, unbothered. We ask the questions, ma'am. Then maybe ask better ones, she snaps. Raymond sets his fork down, wipes his mouth again, and exhales slowly through his nose. I served 2 tours overseas, he says, calm, but firm. Worked security when I came back until my knees gave out. I don't steal, I don't beg, I pay for my food like everyone else. Cray squints. You got no fixed address? Nope. Then you're a drifter. I'm a veteran. Cray huffs a dry laugh. Sure you are. Name? Raymond gestures toward the VA card still in Cray's hand. It's there. I said, say it. Raymond Ellis. Date of birth? February 10th, 1965. Renshaw steps outside to run the name, muttering under his breath. Cray stays put, staring at Raymond like a hawk watching for the twitch of a tail. Harold comes out from the kitchen, drying his hands on a stained towel. You fellas need something, or you just looking to stir trouble? Cray doesn't answer. Just keeps watching Raymond, waiting for him to flinch. He doesn't. Instead, Raymond shifts in his seat, reaches into his jacket. Cray stiffens. Hands where I can see them. Raymond freezes, then pulls out an old flip phone, scratched, faded, barely holding together. What's that? Cray barks, stepping closer. Raymond opens the phone, clicks a number on speed dial, raises it to his ear. A pause. Then, 4 words. It's happening again. Silence. Not the comfortable kind that happens when a room's full of regulars and routine. This is a silence that waits, that watches. Cray's face twists. Who the hell did you just call? Raymond sets the phone down on the table next to his plate. You said you're doing your job, he says slowly. Now I'm doing mine. Cray plants both hands on his duty belt. Sir, I'm going to need you to step outside. No, he's not, Harold interjects, voice sharper now. Not unless you're arresting him. Renshaw walks back in holding a tablet, squinting at the screen. Name checks out. VA database confirms veteran status, honorable discharge, Bronze Star. Cray doesn't blink. Still homeless, still a citizen, Carla snaps. Renshaw shrugs. Cited for loitering last year, nothing serious. Cray turns to Carla. Ma'am, you need to step away. You don't get to order me around in my workplace. She steps forward, defiant now. You've got regulars who sit here for hours nursing cold coffee. Nobody says a thing, but one man with a beard and a jacket, and suddenly we've got a situation. Cray glares, jaw clenched. You done? No, she fires back. But you might be. Raymond drums his fingers once, twice, 3 times against the tabletop. He's not angry, not afraid, just tired. The kind of tired that sinks into your bones. Cray snaps. That's it. Stand up now. Raymond rises slowly. Taller than he seemed. Straighter, older, but grounded, unshakable. I don't want trouble, he says. Cray reaches for his cuffs. You should have thought of that before you got clever. And then, the door bursts open. So fast the bell above it doesn't even jingle properly, just slaps the wood and bounces. A man in a navy suit strides in. Early 40s, clean-shaven, serious face, dark overcoat, still wet from drizzle. No badge, no gun, just presence. He walks straight to the table, raises a black leather ID case. Assistant Director Marcus Vance, U.S. Department of Justice. Cray freezes, hands inches from the cuffs. Renshaw takes an involuntary step back. Vance doesn't raise his voice, doesn't need to. Officers, he says. Badge numbers, now. Sir, we were just... There was no complaint, Vance cuts in. We monitor certain keywords on open radio lines. Everything you said from the moment you walked in is recorded. He glances at Raymond. This man is a veteran, not a suspect. Cray tries to recover. With all due respect, you're not our supervisor. No, Vance replies, eyes narrowing. I'm your investigation. A ripple moves through the room. Not applause, not shock. Just recognition. Everyone heard. Everyone saw. Cray's face flushes red. Renshaw's breathing gets shallow. Raymond? He just sits back down, calm, unbothered, unmoved. Harold exhales hard through his nose. Carla's jaw drops. Vance doesn't sit, doesn't break eye contact, doesn't even blink. You came in here looking for a threat, he says to Cray, and all you found was a man trying to eat his breakfast. There's nothing more to say, but plenty still to come. Vance doesn't say another word. He just watches them. Two officers who only moments ago looked like they ran the room, now shrinking under the weight of their own arrogance. Cray and Renshaw exchange a glance. Then, without a single excuse or apology, they walk out, heads down, shoulders tight. The door closes behind them with a hollow clack. Inside the diner is still quiet, but it's no longer the quiet of fear. It's the quiet of reckoning. Raymond picks up his coffee, still warm. He sips, then places the cup down gently like nothing just happened. Vance doesn't sit. He leans slightly toward Raymond and lowers his voice. "You all right?" Raymond nods once. "Didn't want to call you." "I know," Vance replies. "But you were right to." Carla walks up slowly. Who exactly are you?" Raymond glances up at her. "Old friend," he says simply. Harold crosses his arms. "You've got friends who walk in with DOJ credentials and shut down cops mid-scene?" Raymond shrugs, that faint, weary half-smile tugging at one corner of his mouth. "Depends on the scene." Vance turns to Harold and Carla. "I'm sorry for the disruption, I just need a few minutes with Mr. Ellis." Harold nods. "Take your time, coffee's on the house." Raymond shakes his head. "Put it on me, I always pay." Carla smiles softly. "Of course you do." Vance finally takes a seat across from him, and for a few moments they talk like old comrades. Less government, more grit. "You sure you're okay?" Vance asks again. "I've had worse mornings," Raymond replies. "But yeah, I'm fine." Vance frowns. "This is the third time this year, Ray. You want me to escalate it?" Raymond looks down at his plate, nearly empty now, then folds his napkin and sets it neatly on the table. "Do what you have to do. I'm tired of explaining myself to people who already made up their minds." "You shouldn't have to," Vance says, tone dropping. Raymond looks up, eyes sharper than before. "They only care when I'm in uniform, not when I'm in a diner trying to eat." Vance leans back, jaw tight. "We'll flag the body cam footage. Internal Affairs will call, and I'll make sure it doesn't disappear." Raymond doesn't flinch. "Let it go public. Let them see." They do. 2 hours later, the footage hits TikTok. Not from Vance, not from the DOJ, but from someone inside the diner. Maybe the delivery guy. Maybe the college kid at the corner table. Either way, it explodes. The camera catches everything. Cray demanding proof of purchase like Raymond's a criminal. Carla defending him with shaking hands. Raymond calmly making that one phone call. Vance walking in like justice itself and turning the whole room upside down. The internet doesn't just watch. It responds. Hashtags flood in. Raymond Ellis, this is America. Silent veteran. People start calling him the quiet hero. Others, the man who brought the DOJ with a flip phone. At the diner, things move fast. A teenage girl walks in later that afternoon, phone in hand, wide-eyed. "You're him, right?" she blurts, not even saying hello. Raymond looks up, confused. "Excuse me?" "You're the guy in the video, from Henry's Diner. It's viral, you're trending." Raymond blinks. "Already?" She nods. "My brother saw it at college. People are furious. Those cops? Twitter's eating them alive." Harold walks over, raising an eyebrow. "Wait, who posted it?" "No clue," the girl says, scrolling. "But it's at like 600,000 views now." Carla leans in. "What does it show exactly?" The girl turns her screen. Everyone gathers to watch. "Raymond?" He looks away. He doesn't like seeing himself on screens. Feels like being peeled open. "They're calling you a silent warrior," the girl says. "There's even a GoFundMe. Some vet group is raising money for you. Someone offered you a place to live?" Raymond sighs. "That's not what I wanted. But maybe," Carla says softly, "it's what we needed." And that's when it starts. Digging. Not the police, not the press, the people. They find an old photo, black and white, grainy, taken somewhere in Fallujah. Raymond, younger, standing between two other soldiers, eyes like he hadn't slept in days, rifle slung over his shoulder, caption, SGT, Raymond Ellis, Task Force Wolfhound, 2006. The internet doesn't know what Task Force Wolfhound is, so they dig deeper. Turns out it was a classified rescue unit, hostage recovery, high-risk missions, sealed records, redacted reports. But some of his fellow soldiers, they remember. One posts a letter, half blacked out, addressed to Raymond, commendation for a mission that saved 13 civilians from an insurgent compound. Another shares a voice note. "Ray Ellis saved my life in Iraq. Twice." He doesn't talk about it, doesn't brag. but he's the realest damn man I ever knew. By sunset, Raymond Ellis isn't just a man with a cup of coffee anymore. He's a national symbol. CNN runs the story by nightfall. Local news replay the clip every half hour. Facebook groups form. Comment sections fill. Justice reform advocates share his photo with the caption, "We told you this happens every day, now you believe us." Protesters show up at the Mon Police Department, not in riot gear. In quiet, resolute lines, holding signs, "I am Raymond Ellis," "Being homeless isn't a crime," "Respect before ret." At the shelter, Raymond sits on his cot, staring at the ceiling. He hasn't touched the care package the VA dropped off. New boots, a clean shirt, a phone that isn't falling apart. There's even a voucher for housing. A note reads, "Thank you for your service, Sergeant Ellis." Raymond reads it once, then reads it again. He doesn't need thanks, he needs rest, but maybe this is the cost of finally being seen. By Friday morning, everything's changed. The Mon Police Department issues a stiff statement. "We are conducting a full internal investigation into the incident involving Mr. Raymond Ellis," but no one's satisfied. Because the internet doesn't want statements, it wants accountability. Within hours, Officer Renshaw deletes his social media. Officer Cray tries to go private, too late. Screenshots from his old Facebook posts surface, racist memes, jokes that were never funny, comments that read like confessions. The truth spreads like fire through dry fields. It turns out this wasn't Cray's first complaint. Not his second. Not even his fifth. Dozens of citizen reports ignored. Letters buried in inboxes. A paper trail of power unchecked. But Raymond's phone call? It knocked the whole tree. At the diner, life limps back toward normal. Sort of. Carla's been interviewed 3 times. Harold's picture made it onto the front page of the Monday Journal. A reporter from Savannah offered Raymond a book deal. He refused. One man even came in just to take a selfie with Raymond's chair. Raymond shakes his head every time someone points and whispers. "I'm not a tourist stop," he mutters. "You're not," Carla tells him. "You're a mirror. People just don't like what they see when they look in." He still sleeps at the shelter. Still uses his coat as a pillow. Still wakes up stretching the same aching knees. But now there's something else. An envelope. Hand-delivered by 2 men in suits. From the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Inside, a formal apology, a housing voucher, a full benefits review, a therapist, a caseworker. And a note. "You should have been seen a long time ago." Raymond reads it. Doesn't cry. Doesn't smile. He just feels. A complicated, quiet ache. For all the men who never got letters. Never went viral. Never made it back. That Sunday morning, the diner is calm again. No cameras. No influencers. Just regulars. The kinds of people who were there before the headlines and will be there long after they fade. Raymond walks in wearing the same old army jacket. But this time, his posture is different. Not proud. Not defensive. Just present. Harold nods toward his usual table. It's open. Raymond doesn't sit. He clears his throat. Just loud enough to interrupt the scrape of forks and the clink of mugs. At first, nobody notices. Then Carla turns. Her hand stills. "Mr. Ellis?" she says softly. Raymond looks around. Then speaks. "I got something to say." The room stills. "I'm not a hero," Raymond begins, voice steady. "I didn't plan to be a story. I came in for eggs and coffee, like I have every Tuesday for years." He looks at Carla, then Harold. "Y'all saw me as a person. Not a problem. Not a project. Just a person." A few heads nod. A man near the window sets down his fork. "But some folks didn't, and maybe now that video got out, people are paying attention. That's good. But attention," he pauses, "isn't the same as understanding." His voice doesn't rise. It doesn't need to. "I wore this jacket in the desert. I've watched men I love die in the dirt for a country that forgets us the moment we take off the uniform. I didn't ask for praise. I asked for a seat." He lets that sit for a moment. "I didn't demand a parade, just a plate." He steps forward now, scanning the room. No script, no speech, just truth. "There are thousands like me. You won't see them on television. You won't hear their names. Some are homeless. Some work 2 jobs with bad backs and no insurance. Some just stop talking because they got tired of being invisible." He raises a hand, slow. "But hear me clear, being poor isn't a crime. Being tired isn't a weakness. And asking to be treated like a human being should never feel like a threat." Carla wipes her cheek. Pretends it's just a sneeze. "It isn't." Raymond smiles, soft. "We all walk into places carrying stories no one sees. So next time someone walks in and looks like they don't belong, maybe they do." He nods. "Maybe they belong more than you know." Then, finally, he sits. Nobody claps. Nobody needs to. Sometimes the truth is loudest when it's quiet. That afternoon, Raymond returns to the shelter, packs his things carefully, methodically, folds every item like it still matters. Because it does. In his hand, the key to a small apartment on the east side of town. Modest, clean, paid for, his. The world moves on as it always does. The next outrage, the next clip, the next distraction. But Raymond stays rooted. He plants himself in a neighborhood that sees him. He volunteers at a nearby school, talks to kids not about war, not about trauma, but about presence, about respect, about what happens when you choose to see people. Nobody introduces him as the viral vet or the guy from the diner. They just say, "This is Mr. Ellis, you'll want to hear what he has to say." Because it turns out, people do listen now. But more importantly, they look, and they see. Not every hero wears a cape. Some wear jackets older than your car. Some sit quietly in diners, sipping coffee. Some carry wounds you'll never see. And respect? It doesn't come after the obituary. It should come while they're still here. So the next time you see someone who looks forgotten, speak. Don't stare. Listen. Don't assume. And when you can, stand up even if it's just by sitting beside them.